Hello, friends and family from Alton, Illinois. We've got some catching up to do. But before we do that, I want to give a big shout out and thank you to my friend and former coworker Tim and his wife Faith, who surprised me today. They were passing through the area and stopped, and we got to go across the highway to a brewery and have a couple of beers and some supper. And I can't tell you how nice it was to sit down with someone um, from back home and talk and share and just enjoy each other's company. And it really meant a lot to me. And I'm very grateful for them. And we had a really good time. So thanks, guys. It was really good to see you. So the last video I made, I think I said something along the lines of, I need to do better about having a plan, but that plan also has to be flexible. And then I also made the statement that we were going to have a short day. Well, that went right out the window. We were planning on about a 40-mile day, and the place that we were going to stop actually stopped taking boats. It was a tow company, which is like barge company, and they would let people tie up to their barges on the side of the river. But they said they had an incident a few months ago, and they weren't letting boaters do that anymore. And that's kind of the blank section of the Illinois I was talking about. And so there weren't really any other options in the area besides a few anchorages that, to be honest, didn't really look that good. So I decided if I was going to have to anchor out, I might as well see how many miles I could make that day. Now, we had a little bit of current with us that helped, but not as much as I would have liked, but it did help some. And at least we weren't going into the wind or going against the current. So another place that boaters like to stop is Hardin, which I think I mentioned in the previous video that we were going to be there in 2 days. We actually ended up doing a 90-mile day, which is the biggest day we've had by far. And I got there right at dark. Now, it's a place called Mel's Dockside Restaurant, and they have a little dock outside, and you can dock up and spend the night there for like $20, which is great because you don't have to anchor out. Like there's no water or anything, but at least you have a safe place to anchor up for the night. All my boating friends, I wish you could have seen the docking job I did in a 3-knot current by myself in a 34-foot trawler. Now, it took me 2 times. I had to come around and then come around again. But the second time I got it, so I basically in the current, I had to, like throw it in reverse, hit the gas, stop the boat, jump out, get the midship cleat tied, run to the back, get the stern tied off, and it was a little bit of a circus, but I pulled it off. I wish somebody could have seen it because I think it's probably the best docking job I've ever done in my life. I don't know that I could actually do it again if I'm honest. So the great thing about it was I got there at about 8:45. Mel's Dockside Restaurant closes at 8 o'clock. But Becky had called ahead to make sure that they had a brisket dinner and a cold beer waiting for me. And the staff stayed behind to make sure I got my meal and my beer, which was super sweet. Gail and her mom, and they had a friend there, welcomed me into the restaurant after it was closed, gave me this incredible brisket meal, and insisted I sit in the restaurant and talk to them while I ate and not take it back to the boat. So I had a great conversation with these folks, and they were so kind. And it was just one of those moments where kind of your faith in humanity is restored a little bit. They were just very gracious. Gave me drinks to go, wanted to make sure that I was well taken care of, and it just really meant a lot. So we stayed at the dock overnight, and we had a really good night. There was very little barge traffic, so the boat was really steady all night. And then the next morning at 7 o'clock, they opened up for breakfast. So I walked up for breakfast and walked into a room of probably 20 fishermen who were getting ready to go out for the day. And they immediately welcomed me in. And started talking, asking questions, and we started talking about fishing. I sat down with an older gentleman named Roger, and he explained to me that he had grown up there in Hardin his entire life. Now, keep in mind, this is a town with a population of about 400 people, but just super kind and gracious. And sat there and ate my breakfast. And as I was getting ready to leave, I had noticed he was sitting there fiddling with his money, and he had kind of folded a dollar bill into a boat and gave it to me as a souvenir from Hardin, which was just precious, just super sweet. Um, so I really enjoyed my stop there in Hardin. Those folks were absolutely fantastic and sent me on my way feeling really good. So we left out of there, and probably 2 hours later, we hit the mighty Mississippi River.
Dad, what river is this?
Ah, that's the Mississippi, the mighty Mississippi. The old miss, the old man. Deep river.
Now, I had been told, all along that the Mississippi's pretty wild, that the speed is going to be increased a lot because of the current, and you really have to pay attention with all the commercial traffic and so on. It did pick up a little bit. It wasn't very much of an increase in speed, and the more I've read about it, it looks like we're actually going to pick up more speed the further down we get. But we did pick up a little bit. It was very manageable. wasn't that bad. We made it through the convergence just fine, and started down the Mississippi River and ended up here at Alton, which is a really nice marina in a really nice area. And I took a rest day today. I call it a rest day. It really wasn't a rest day. I got a lot done. I had to do a full oil change on the boat, which is kind of complicated because it's you can't get underneath the motor to drain it. So what you have to do is you have to pump the oil out from the inside, and it takes a long time. And then there's 2 filters to change, and so it's a little bit of a process. And while I was down there, I went ahead and changed the injector oil again, which only had about 50 miles on it, but it's kind of one of those things where you can't change it too much. And while I was down there, I decided to change it again, and that went pretty well. I did my first ever Walmart delivery order because I needed supplies and needed a few other things. Like I needed some gasket stuff to try to fix my toilet, which didn't work. But the Walmart order was great. That's the first time I ever used that. But I think that's probably something I'm going to use again because it was really nice just to have everything delivered here. So got all that stuff taken care of today. It actually rained most of the morning, so it was a good day to take a rest day. And again, I got to see Tim and Faith, and so I'm glad I was here for the day. So that points me to tomorrow, and actually the next 2 days. I think I mentioned before that we're going to be on a blank section, and man, it is blank. There are no marinas. In fact, I won't get to another marina until I get to Paducah, Kentucky, which means tomorrow and the next night I'm going to have to anchor out. Now, there is a dam and lock down about 70 miles, and they let boaters tie up to the wall there. So I think that's where I'm going to aim for tomorrow. The next stop will probably be in the Cairo area, and that probably is going to be in Anchorage. So I needed to make sure I had plenty of groceries and water and dog food and things like that before we kind of go out of civilization for 2 or 3 days. The good news is that the slip right next to me here at the marina is a looper from Florida who's coming around, and he has solo as well. And we've decided we're going to head out in the morning together and at least get through. We've got one lock right down past the marina. So we're going to try to lock through together tomorrow and see if we can both like hang together until we get to the wall, and then kind of reassess and see where we are from there. So I think that's the plan. Like I said, it's this is kind of the blank stretch, and it's I topped off fuel when I got here yesterday, so I have a full 150 gallons, which should be plenty to get me past the dry spot in the river where there isn't any diesel available. So I think we've got a decent plan in place. I think things are lining up, and with any luck, in 2 days we'll be very close to the Ohio River. Now we're only going to be on the Ohio for a very small segment, basically just going upstream to Paducah. Um, so I'll have to see how that goes. I don't know how our speed will go up current. I also know that once we get on the Tennessee River, we're going to be going up current. So I think we're probably going to enjoy these 2 days on the Mississippi, with the current with us to help us with speed. So that's kind of the plan. We, got laundry today, had a bunch of good food, and there's some folks out here on the dock on Friday night having some drinks, and they've invited me over. I'm probably just going to stay in tonight and kind of get ready for an early start tomorrow. But yeah, I wanted to check in and let you know where we were, and thank everybody for reaching out to me and sending me messages and encouragement. It really means a lot to me, and I really do appreciate it. And thanks again to Becky for having that brisket dinner waiting for me after a very long 90-mile day. It was it was it was wonderful. It was wonderful. So. All right, guys. Well, thanks for following. Thanks for checking in and everything. I'll try to keep you posted as often as I can. I get caught up with myself, and when I get slack time, I try to knock things out that need to be done. And I need to be better about making these videos more frequently, and I'll try to do that. So thanks for checking in, and I will keep you posted.